Welcome back to section 10.4 as we continue to use square roots to solve quadratic equations. First, we're going to start with a couple examples, and if you feel comfortable with these examples, you can go ahead and fast forward the video to either their solutions to double check your answers, or go on to the word problem. But first, I'm going to start with number one. We want to get this x squared by itself. So how do we do that? We have to add 400 to both sides. So now we get 4x squared equals 400. How do you get this x squared by itself? How is the 4 attached to the x squared? Through multiplication. How do you undo multiplication? Through division. So we are going to divide each side by 4 to get x squared equals 100. Now, how do you undo a square? How do you undo a square? You have to square root both sides. So we come up with a final answer of x equaling positive negative 10. Please remember that it's a positive negative 10 because 10 times 10 is 100 and negative 10 times negative 10 is also 100. Jumping to number 2, how do you get the n squared term by itself? Add 17 to both sides. Add 17 to both sides. So we bring down the 6n squared equals 36. How do you get n squared by itself? Divide by 6 on both sides. So we have n squared equals 6. How do you undo a square? You have to square root both sides. So now n equals a positive negative. Now 6 is not a perfect square. You punch that into your calculator and you will get 2.45. Just make sure that you put positive negative down. And now for number 3. Here we have 9 times the quantity x minus 3, quantity squared, equaling 81. Remember, we want to get those parentheses. We want to get these parentheses all by themselves. Well, how do we do that? What is attached to the parentheses? The 9 through multiplication. How do you undo multiplication? Through division. So we divide each side by 9. So we come up with x minus 3, quantity squared equals 9. Now that square, this square here is attached to only these parentheses. So we want to undo that square using a square root. We are left with x minus 3 equals a positive negative 3. Now remember, it's a positive negative 3, so we have to break that up into two parts. We have x minus 3 equals a positive 3, and we have x minus 3 equals a negative 3. So starting with the blue, we have to add the 3 over to the other side, so x equals 6. And with the green equation, we add the 3 over to the other side, add the 3 over to the other side as I'm running out of room to get 0. So x equals 0. So we have two answers, x equals 6 and x equals 0. Now, to everybody's favorite word problem, first go ahead and read the problem. So it says, during an ice hockey game, a remote-controlled blimp flies 40 feet above the rink and drops a numbered tennis ball to the fan sitting 17 feet below the rink. The numbered tennis ball corresponds to a prize. Use the information in the diagram to find the amount of time that the ball is in the air. So, you can use my nice little diagram that I have up here that I neatly drew to figure out this problem. Well, we dropped it from a height of 45 feet and we are going to catch the ball at 17 feet. Well, what's this involve? This involves the vertical motion model, right? Where our initial velocity is v and our starting height is s. So let's see if this vertical motion model will help us with this problem. So we start with v. What is our initial velocity? Well, we drop something. We let it go. What is our initial velocity? There is no initial velocity. So I'm going to start with negative 16 t squared plus, and I'm plugging in 0 in for this v. So it's plus 0 t plus, now our starting height. where is our starting height? The ball is being dropped. The ball is being dropped from 45 feet away. So there's our ball. It is being dropped from 45 feet, so it's going to be plus 45. And now equals, it's being dropped to what height? We are sitting at 17 feet, so it's going to equal 17 feet. It has to drop 17 feet. So now, can we use this guy to solve for t? Because this is a 0t, so we're not even going to deal with the single t term. So let's clear up everything to see if we can make everything a little bit neater. So we have negative 16t squared plus 45 equals 17. Let's solve for t. So let's subtract 45 from both sides to get negative 16t squared equals a negative 28. How do you get t squared by itself? You have to divide by negative 16. So now we divide by negative 16 and we get t squared equals, now here negative divided by a negative is a positive. So it's 28 over 16. Now how do you undo a square? We've been working on it for 2 days. Hopefully you already said square root. And so we square root both sides to get t equals. You just plug the square root of 28 over 16 right into your calculator. And you're so good that you put positive negative 1.32. But we are looking for a time. Can time really be negative? No, it can't. So we get a time of a positive 1.32 seconds that it will take for the ball to drop right to us, and we win the ticket. Thank you so much for listening to 10.4 Part 2. Have a great rest of your day.